Hello, dear students. Today's topic is tetralogy of Fallot. Okay, it is otherwise named as TOF. TOF. Okay, tetralogy of Fallot. And the Fallot is the person who identified this disease, and the tetralogy means there are four conditions or four important anatomic changes are occurring in this particular disease. So that is the name tetralogy of Fallot. Okay. So we can see the disease condition in detail. The frequency of this disorder in human is approximately 1 in 1000, and the frequency is 1 in 1000, and 10% of all congenital heart diseases. Okay. So the disease condition is coming under the cyanotic conditions, because we already discussed about PDA, VSD, ASD, etc. So these all conditions are coming under acyanotic disease conditions or acyanotic congenital heart defects. But tetralogy of Fallot is a cyanotic heart disease or cyanotic heart defect. Okay, and it is a 10% of all congenital heart diseases. And the problem is not necessarily fatal. Like, even though it is a cyanotic disease condition, cyanotic congenital heart defect, it is not a fatal condition because the management can prolong the life of the child. If not treated, the mortality rate is 95% by age 40. So, if we are not treating the condition with the necessary management immediately after birth, the child may die, and the mortality rate is 95 by age 40. Okay, the treatment is typically done at age 6 to 12 months. So early diagnosis and treatment of the condition is very important when you are looking to this particular condition. Okay, so altogether it is a cyanotic heart defect or cyanotic congenital heart defect, 10% of all congenital heart disease, and it's not a fatal condition. The managements are available, medical, surgical and other managements will support the life of the child. And if it is not treated, the child may die, means there is a difficulty to cross age 40. Okay. And another important, already we know that it is a cyanotic congenital heart disease. It is the most common congenital cyanotic congenital heart disease. Okay, when you are looking for other disease conditions which is coming under the cyanotic disease, cyanotic congenital heart defects, it is one of the most common one. Okay, and there are four components or four defects like tetralogy of Fallot. In that term itself, we are very clear that there are four defects or four components are there in this particular disease condition. They are, the first one, pulmonic stenosis. The second one is right ventricular hypertrophy. The third one is ventricular septal defect. And the last one is overriding of aorta. So you have to understand that there are four components or four defects when a child is affected with tetralogy of Fallot. They are pulmonary stenosis or pulmonic stenosis, right ventricular hypertrophy, ventricular septal defect and overriding of aorta. So these are the four conditions which is coming in the tetralogy of Fallot. So that first one is pulmonic stenosis. You can see there is narrowing of the outway of right ventricle, that is a pulmonary stenosis. So pulmonary valve and pulmonary area will be narrowed, so that blood is not able to escape from right ventricle to the pulmonary area. So as a result of this pooling of blood which is in the right ventricle, there will be right ventricular hypertrophy. So blood is not going out from right ventricle. That results in pooling of blood in the right ventricle, which results in the hypertrophy, the thickening. This hypertrophy, the size is increasing in the right ventricle because of the over blood or accumulated blood in the right ventricle. And there is an associated ventricular septal defect, so that this increased amount of blood will be shunted from right side to the left side, because this right ventricular hypertrophy along with this pooling of blood in the right ventricle creates a pressure gradient than the left side, and which helps in the flow of blood from right ventricle to left ventricle. And the last condition which is present in this is overriding of aorta. That means this aorta will originate from this ventricular septal defect. Instead of left ventricle, this will be present. Aorta will be starting from the ventricular septal defect, so that more amount of right ventricular impure blood will be pumped into the aorta. Okay, so these are the 4 conditions which is coming in the tetralogy of Fallot, that they are pulmonic stenosis, right ventricular hypertrophy, ventricular septal defect, and overriding of aorta. So we can see the pathophysiology in detail. The same we have discussed now, and we can see the pathophysiology. What is happening is hemodynamics varies depends upon the degree of pulmonary stenosis and the size of VSD. That is, if the pulmonary stenosis is complete, the blood is not going, or very minimum blood is leaving the right ventricle, that much amount will be pooled in the right side. Okay, and if the size of the VSD is large also, the blood will be shunted largely from right ventricle to left ventricle. So, and the other factor which will be depending upon the pathophysiological changes, systemic and pulmonary resistance to flow, that is the pressure gradients which is present in the systemic flow and the pulmonary flow. So if the pulmonary vascular resistance is systemic, that is more than the systemic vascular resistance, that means right side pressure is more than the systemic vascular resistance, then you can see the right to left shunt. Okay, if the pressure which is developing in the right side is more than the left side, that is pulmonary area is more than the systemic resistance, then there happens the right to left shunt. If the pulmonary vascular resistance is less than systemic vascular resistance, then there will be left to right shunt. Okay, so depending upon this factor, which area is with more pressure, depending upon the shunting, depending upon that shunting happens, the blood flow happens. Shunting means blood flow from one area to another. That happens, and depending upon that, the clinical manifestations and the complications will be presented by the patient or the child. Okay, so if there is pulmonary stenosis, decreased blood flow to the lung for purification. That is, if there is pulmonary stenosis, decreased blood flow to the lung for purification happens. This results in reduced oxygenated blood to left side. So when the blood is not leaving the right ventricle, blood is not reaching lungs for purification. So to the left atrium, the pulmonary veins which carries blood will be reduced. So reduced oxygenated blood to the left side. Okay, depending upon the position of aorta, blood from both ventricles distributed systemically. So aorta is now positioned in the ventricular septal defect, that is the overriding of aorta. So depending upon that position, both left side blood and the right side blood will be carried by the aorta. But we know that impure blood is large in amount because left side blood is less comparing to right side. So more amount of deoxygenated impure blood will be taken up by the aorta. Poor systemic oxygenation, low hemoglobin saturation, and cyanosis will be happening. So in that situation, oxygen amount will be very low because more amount of right side blood will be taken for systemic circulation. There will be low hemoglobin saturation because oxygen availability is less. The child will be presented with cyanosis. So these are the pathophysiological changes. So we know that these all changes are depending upon the degree of pulmonary stenosis, that is the narrowing, how much narrowing is the, second is size of the VSD, and the third is systemic and pulmonary resistance. So if there is any variation, the presentation of the patient will be varying and the pathophysiological changes will be depending upon these three factors, and these are the changes which we are expecting in tetralogy of Fallot. Okay, so hope you all clear with how the cyanosis is happening, how the changes are happening in a child with tetralogy of Fallot. Okay, thank you very much. We'll continue